okay? Make it your own. You know I love a tassel. Okay, and moving on. Girl, do it. Thinking of. Oh! Hello and welcome to Relish Crafts, where we relish in our crafts. Today's upcycle project is going to be a large statement necklace. Why? Because I feel like it, okay? I want to make something that is probably a little too giant for most people. And I'm going to be utilizing this little purse, okay? I got it with the intention of using this little piece of fabric here, okay? I upcycle, I use textiles. That's what I do. The last time I made a necklace was from fabric, okay? I just think it's a very interesting way of utilizing thrifted items. And this purse has a very noisy lining. It's not sexy, I don't care for it. Anyhow, it's not that big of a deal, so I'm just going to remove this elephant. So the idea is that this is going to be the focal point of my necklace, okay? The charm, the piece, the statement piece of it all. I'm going to cut it out as much as I can. I'm going to reinforce it with some type of interfacing. I don't know if I'm going to make it stiff or not. I could, but then I'm not sure. So I have to figure that out. And then I have to figure out what it is that I'm going to use as the chain, as the actual necklace part, and how I go about embellishing that. Now, I wanted to create something that was large and in charge because I do like to embroider things. I tried my hand at a little bit of beading, like glass beading. I have a style sister. Hello, Terry. I love you. And she's not able to manipulate very tiny things, okay? So I just wanted to make a necklace that was large, okay? That wasn't too intricate with fine details. That's it. A large, fun statement necklace that is still in alignment with my aesthetic, which is a very boho, eclectic, global, chaotic, whatever girl, okay, that I like. And this will go lovely with the things that I like to wear. And so that's what I'm going with. And that's my reason why. And that's what I'm doing. Let's get started. Usually I seam rip things carefully, but not in this case. As I am only focused on getting the elephant, I'm just going to cut a rectangular shape for now. So I'm just going to go in and do that. Okay, and this is what I was after. And this fabric is going to fray on me. It's already starting. So I'm going to just iron on some interfacing to help, prevent that from happening. Now that I have my interfacing on, I have to make some choices here. Am I going to allow it to be this malleable, right? I don't know. I kind of want it to be firm, but not stiff as a board. So I have some heavier weight interfacing. This was just a lightweight one. And this has, it would make it a little bit stiffer, but not as stiff as this type of interfacing, right? This is really hard. So it would just be really stiff. And then I'm not sure if, actually I could use the back of the bag for the back of the elephant. Hello. Okay. Anyways. See, you guys, I don't have a plan. I'm always winging it. I'm just like, okay, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? I don't have a plan, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and run with it. I'm just going to add this heavier weight interfacing. Of course, it is fusible. Now, I don't know if I just want to leave it flat, right? Or if I want to stuff the elephant, like make him plump. I kind of like that idea. I've always stuffed my charms. Make him look kind of like a little pillow. I thrifted this. It's some kind of a decorative tassel charm. Girl, I don't know. I love everything about it. I love the colors, the embroidery, the little beading on it. Everything is just perfect. And girl, honestly, this could be a necklace. If you find things out like this, just focus on creating the cordage, right? The thing that goes around and bam, now you have a large statement necklace. Girl, that's how I see it. Like, I'm really tempted to wear this. This is amazing to me. I love everything about it. God, and the embroidery is so beautiful too. So I just have it hanging as part of my backdrop when I do my style ups or my reveals, right? I just have a bunch of stuff in my background that's decorative and I hang this there, but it's so beautiful. Anyhow, look at how this is stuffed. It's like a little pillow, okay? What if I did that to this elephant? It's kind of firm, so I have to use this as an example. My microphone is always in the most inconvenient place. Oh, I like that. Okay, girl, you don't have to do what I do. Okay, these are just ideas for you to do whatever you want with. Okay, make it your own. Make it all your own, girl. It's your world. So I'm just gonna do this right for the elephant, not for the backing. And I just love the idea of using this piece of fabric for the back of the elephant because it's original to the piece that it came with. This will be the inspiration. Girl, I didn't even think about it until I thought, I wonder how it will look if I stuff it. So I'm going to do that instead of it being flat. That's what I think I'm going to do. Okay, great. I finished ironing on the heavier weight interfacing, right? And I went ahead and cut out the back piece of the purse. Now this fabric had interfacing already ironed on. Brilliant. I don't have to do it or add it. So now what I'm going to do is merge both pieces. Now you can use fabric glue on the edges if you'd like. You can use large embroidery thread. The large embroidery needles have a very large eye. There's even a threader that helps you with that, right? So that you can stitch it together if you choose to take that approach, or you could just use fabric glue to fuse them together. Because I have a sewing machine, I'm going to use it, okay? So however it is that you come to merge these two pieces is completely up to you. There's many options here that are available to you. Now I'm going to just follow the shape of the elephant as best I can with my sewing machine. And I'm probably going to leave the middle of his back open, and then that way I can add stuffing from the top, right? Because if I come in from the side, it's going to be hard to get stuffing down into the legs or the trunk. And at least from up here, I can stuffing straight down into these more intricate areas, okay? And because the tail is so tiny, I'm going to stitch a wider area here as best I can. I have traced the outline here, right? And I left this gap here so that I can add stuffing, but I'm just going to go ahead and trim away some of this. Okay, this is what it's looking like so far. And now I'm just going to take some stuffing and place it on the inside of my charm here. Okay, this is as far as I'm going to go with the stuffing. And now I'm just going to close the top of it. Now it's time for me to think about cordage. The issue is, how am I going to make it a necklace? And I have these tassels here and I quite like the little ropes on them. Now this one is a little bit too gold, I think, a little bit too yellow gold. So I think I'm going to skip on that one. I like it, but I quite like this one a lot better. It's not so yellow. I have this one. I really like this one. This is also gold and less yellow, less metallic maybe. Now, I'm not intending it to be adjustable. So 2 tassels might be a bit much, and I'm just going to keep the length. I'm just going to hope it fits everybody, okay? Girl, if it fits over my head, I think it's a pretty universal fit. Listen, I'm thinking of someone who might have arthritis or something like that, and I don't want to bother with a little finicky tiny jewelry clasp. So I'm just thinking here, okay? Look, what I could do is just cut off the tassels, okay? And add, because I do want to keep one. Girl, you know I love a tassel. I just love it, okay? Keep one, place it at the bottom of my elephant. I mean, come on, that would be epic. Now, keep the rope. What's this? Okay, and moving on. Okay, I'm getting distracted here. I'm just gonna add this tassel to here. Then I'm gonna take the rest of the rope and anchor it to 2 parts of the elephant, and that's gonna be my rope. That's what I'm gonna do. Girl, I'm just gonna commit to it. I'm going to sew one of the anchor points down, right? I like how it hangs. We have to pin it in place to see if we like how it hangs. And now I'm just gonna stitch it in place here by hand and leave this one free and open so that I can start putting maybe beads through this side, you know, fishing stuff through if I am going to use beads like this one, right? So that have like a little hole through it, I can fish it down in there. And then once I'm done embellishing the cord, I can then go ahead and sew the other end down and go from there, okay? So I'm just gonna hand stitch this side here and then think about placing beads, buttons, whatever I want onto this cord before anchoring the other side down. I'm just gonna go ahead now and start stringing some beads. And I'm just using large wooden beads, nothing too small or intricate. I have these light beads and these darker beads, and I'm just going to try and alternate them for now. These large wooden beads come in many colors. I have red ones. I'm not going to use those for this project today. And now I'm just gonna keep adding the wooden beads. I may go all the way around. Girl, I'm just playing it by ear. I don't have a set plan. I'm figuring it out as I go. Sometimes I add something I don't like and I remove it. I added a piece of tape to the end of the cord, and that has made placing the beads on so much easier. And I think I did decide to go ahead and do the entire cord here. And now, for the sake of just seeing how it looks, I'm going to pin one end here and test it out. I think that's really good. With large beads, easy enough. Okay, now I think I'm gonna go ahead and anchor this permanently by hand stitching it in place. Now, because I'm extra and this is very not colorful, I want to add some color to it. Now, you could spray paint your beads or hand paint them, but I'm going to add pom-poms for a splash of color. Now, I have this really cute curtain valance. I only have one that I wanted to use for its colorful beauty here. Now, I'm going to remove these one by one, right? Okay, so I have this pom-pom here, and I'm just gonna attach it every, space them out as much as I can just to add a splash of color, and I think it goes with the theme, so I'm just gonna do that. That's all of them removed. So you can use, whatever you want. Embroidery thread, regular sewing thread to get them stitched onto here. Or you could use a dollop of a glue gun, right? A glue here to just adhere them on. However it is that you are comfortable getting your embellishments on, girl, do it. This is where I'm at. This is where I've decided to anchor these little tassels. Now, I don't think I'm gonna go further up as it's gonna run into more of like your neckline, where your hair is. I think this is enough. It's very forward facing embellishment here. I'm very happy with it. Okay, now this one I think is much too big. This tassel that I was originally thinking of. Okay, it happens. However, I have one in the same color that I am going to anchor here. Now this isn't cut open or anything, so I'm just going to fish it through. I should be able to loop it through. I'm trying to not use any small embellishments, just large ones, just to make a large statement necklace, just to inspire some ideas here. Okay, success. It is on, and now I'm thinking I'm going to put maybe a couple of these pom-poms just in between the feet for symmetry there. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and sew those on real quick. I'm very happy with this, and I think I'm going to leave it here because this was meant to be like an easy necklace to make, you know, just using larger items. And I've been wanting to do this for a while now. I made a boho blazer not too long ago, and it was a colorful blazer, and I used this beautiful, colorful little vest, you know, to upcycle my blazer with. And these were the ties to that colorful vest, okay? Now, they're very similar to these little pom-poms, and all I'm going to do is cut them free from these ties, okay? They already have a really good little metal ring here. And I'm just gonna take my little earring kit and add a couple of hooks here to that ring. And then I'm gonna have somewhat matching earrings, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and make those, which is just as simple as cutting these off and adding the little metal hook, and then it's done. Now, I just wanted to say that, you know, we can make statement necklaces out of a lot of different things, okay? This was just an idea to kind of get some creative juices flowing for people who might need to or would like to make, you know, accessories and jewelry items that are easier for them to kind of work and handle, that you can't really use very small, tiny, fine little beads, that maybe this is an option. And you know what? This is the approach that I took because I just love boho things, you know, like this I love, okay? But whatever your style is, you'll go with. And I want to say that something as simple as a tassel can make a really cool necklace. This can be the charm, right? And then you use something large like a ribbon to make your necklace out of, or maybe a flower, a large flower that you cut from a piece of fabric. Just add some interfacing to give it some structure. You know, there's so, and then, you know, this one, okay, let me tell you what I bailed on this idea because it just, fabric stretches, okay? And when things are printed, they're not printed perfectly. However, this was like a part of a scarf that I used on that blazer. I still had florals left on that scarf, and it just didn't match up size-wise. Okay, this one's just a tad bit smaller, but the print is exactly the same. Now, the exact same flowers, okay? It just is what it is. That's how it was printed. And I was thinking, oh, I can make a large collar statement necklace, but it just bothered me too much that this didn't match this piece here. And so I just bailed on that. I'm sure I will use this for something else, but for now, I didn't, right? I used some strong interfacing and stitched it on, and I was gonna do something like this. And then I thought, well, what if I just do a necklace like this? Girl, and then I went on and I was like, what if I made a headpiece like this? Or like this? I mean, I love it, okay? Girl, there's just so many things that you can use. And that was just a print that I cut off of a fabric, okay? A scarf. There's things like this little felt embroidered piece of applique art that I think was meant to be used as like an ornament. Listen, people make stuff like this on Etsy. You know, they sell one-offs or little bulk items, or maybe on Amazon, right? Crafting items, or maybe when you're out thrifting, just keep an eye out for some really nice prints, okay? So that's just the idea that I wanted to go with today. I just wanted to help out my fellow style sister with an idea. And now I'm just going to try these on for you, okay? Because I think it's helpful to make something and then style it up in a way that, you know, you would actually wear it out and about. So I'm just gonna do that next. I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun styling this really cool necklace up with these earrings. So let's do that next. This is exactly what I had in mind when I was thinking about creating a large statement necklace that is a very maximalist boho aesthetic, and I'm very happy with how it came out. Now, I really hope that I was able to spark some creative thoughts for you on how to create something like this, right? Like to what to be on the lookout for when you're out thrifting, right? I tried to inspire some thought there with some different ideas, and it came together fairly easily. It was just kind of gathering what it is that I needed, and I'm very happy with it. I really, really try to use large embellishments as to make it easier for somebody who's having a difficult time handling very tiny little beads or fine embellishments, right? I think that this is super awesome. It's exactly what I was going for. I don't know if it's for everyone, but it's definitely for me. I love it very much. I hope you'll let me know what you think in the comments. I'm very glad that I decided to go with the smaller tassel instead of the larger one. You know, you just gotta find that balance. And maybe the larger one worked for you. That's the fun part about creating these things. You get to do it all your own way. I really hope that this inspired you to give it a shot, because I really do believe that a lot of times the best pieces are the ones that we make. And that's because there's no limit to what it is that we can do. I really hope that this helped inspire you. If it did, please like, please comment, please share. Thank you to my channel members. You guys are so very important to me and my art. I thank you so very much. You make me very, very happy, more than I can say. Thank you for watching. I love you for that. And until my next video, I'll see you next time. Bye.